Hello and welcome back to Webcast News. It's Monday, it's a new week. Let's get started with the news. This video I'm going to try adding timestamps so that you can just skip to parts of the video that you're interested in and the stories that you want to look at. So if you do use them, tell me in the comments below if they're useful or not. Firstly, it is Cyber Monday today, basically the less chaotic version of Black Friday that happens on the internet, where you try to get stuff as cheap as possible before it all sells out. So good luck with that. Next, looking at sport news, 38-year-old Australian racing driver Mark Webber escaped serious injury in a massive crash in the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo Endurance Series race. The former Formula 1 driver is in hospital but is only going over checks, and apparently he has only suffered from bruising. If you see the wreck of his car, it is ridiculous to think that he is actually okay from all of this. This shows how far racing cars have come in such a short time, really. Next, and this may be one of the worst people alive news, 41-year-old Dr. Miles Bradbury has been sent to jail for 22 years for sexually assaulting 18 boys. Now I say doctor because he actually worked with children who were suffering from things like cancer and other life-threatening and shortening diseases. Now what makes it even worse is the children that he actually sexually assaulted are the children that he was working with. So it is just absolutely unbelievable that someone would take an oath saying, you know, I'm going to do my job properly, and then they do this. It's also being said that he actually sexually assaulted some of the children whilst their parents were stood outside the curtain in the same room, and he also had a spy pen which he took pictures of the children with. Judge Gareth Hawksworth described Dr. Bradbury as the worst sex offender he had ever come across, and one who had traumatised his victims for life and undermined trust in the health service. Dr. Bradbury pleaded guilty to 25 accounts, most of those being for sexual assault. However, this also included voyeurism and an account of being in possession of 16,000 indecent images of children. Sadly, because he pleaded guilty, a third of the time that he would have spent in jail was taken off, limiting his time to the 22 years that he has received. Yeah, it's not been the best Monday news ever, to be honest. Finally, Baby Centre has conducted its annual name finding list for 2014, where they found that the most common girl's name for this year was Sophia, and the most common boy's name in Britain was Mohammed. Now, before anyone goes on a racial slur or anything like that, Mohammed can be spelt in 10 different ways, and this is an account of taking all 10 ways and adding them together. So actually it's not probably as bad as it first appears for people who are against foreigners coming into the country, but it also shows a good diversity in the country. Celebrity baby names has also dominated most of the list as well, with Eric going up 314% this year after Simon Cowell named his son Eric. Buzz has appeared after Tom Fletcher of McBusted named his son Buzz from the Toy Story character. One boy this year was named Bear after Kate Winslet's son, and Apollo and Blue appeared once after Gwen Stefani and Beyonce's babies, respectively. The most interesting ones, though, tend to be film and TV characters, with Frozen making a huge impact, with Elsa being number 75 in girls' names, and Olaf and Kristoff appearing for the first time in Britain this year. Hunger Games names like Primrose, Effie and Gale have all appeared this year as well, but no Katniss, so that one is probably going to happen in 2015. Game of Thrones has also had its influence, with babies being named Tyrion and Daenerys. I don't know if I've said that right. I'm sorry, I don't watch Game of Thrones. Netflix series Orange is the New Black has shown its popularity, with some babies being named after the main character, Piper. And finally, Breaking Bad still has its influence, with Skylar, Jesse and Walter being popular names for babies in Britain. The only problem I have with this is that by the time the babies grow up and get older, these shows and films are not going to be spoken about anymore, and they're just going to be left with a bit of an odd name. I mean, Tyrion. It's not a very normal name, you know. It's not to have anything against any of these names, because they are interesting names, and it's good to see different names, you know. You get bored of seeing common names, so interesting names. That is it for today's episode on the channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's always nice, because if you are watching the videos, you can keep up to date with them. And there is one thing that I'm going to say. There is not actually going to be a video tomorrow because I'm out pretty much all day. So I will come back again with another video on Wednesday, and I will try to make it up to everyone with a video on Saturday. So, as always, thank you for watching, and see you Wednesday.